unmute myself. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this really quick. Thank y'all very much for coming. I just want to go over last night because it was really cool, and then tell y'all about a couple of things coming up. So we got there last night, and I got lost, and I thought I was going to be late because I was driving on I-26, and it was like 2 lanes merging on when I had to get off, and I'm from 96, so I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So I just went past the exit, and then I ended up in the ghetto because I got off on the next exit. Anyways, I made it with 3 minutes to spare. But so Carl did not actually make it to dinner. His flight got delayed. So we had dinner with Craig, who is the across the country, the coach development director, I think is his title. And then Robbie Carter, who is the Southeast region coach development person. And I'll just really quickly tell you about dinner. It was just really cool because, we're sitting there and Craig was like, we could talk about a lot of things, coach related, your business related, like all this stuff while we're all sitting here, but I have this opportunity to get to know y'all, and so that's what I would like to do. So we all went around the table, and the lead on the council went first, and she started talking about how she became a coach, and he was like, hold on. I'm so excited to learn about your coaching story, but I want to know you. I want to know things about y'all and your lives and what's going on with you and where you came from. And so I just thought that was really cool. I'll probably never talk to this guy again. Maybe in 3 years if I'm where I hope I am. But I don't know, just the fact that he actually cared, and when the night was over, he stopped me in the hall and was like, because I had told him a little bit about Nick, and he was like, I really hope that things work out for you and your husband, and I'll be thinking about y'all. I don't know, I just thought wow, this is a really, really cool company with people that actually care, and it's not always about the bottom dollar. And so that was what a lot of Carl's message was about while we were eating dinner at we were wrapping up at 6:30 because we had to be in there at 6:45 to check the door and stuff. He texted and was like, I just walked into the hotel. I'll meet y'all in the room. So he just started out by giving people a background of how the company came about and a little bit about Shakeology and how that all started, and then he told about how the coach was born, and he was just he went on to say that in 2015 he was like, this really cool thing happened. A lot of people, or no, he said a few people got really super successful and made really, really big things happen with their business, which is amazing. And I'm glad, and I'm so excited for them that this opportunity became what I wanted it to be, in the fact that it has changed people's lives financially. He said, but people saw those few people have this massive success, and they decided that's what they wanted. I want that car. I want that life. I want that house. I want to be able to live financially free, or whatever it was. And he was like, I'm all for any one of you in here having the desire to live financially free, or to have whatever car you want, or to live wherever you want to live, or whatever it may be. He said, but there were a whole bunch of people that signed on as coaches in 2016 because they saw all this really cool, amazing stuff happening in 2015 that signed up for the wrong reasons. And they stayed a coach for maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and they were like, why am I not seeing success? Why have I not made, $5,000 this month, or whatever crazy thing? And he was like, when I started this company with, I think his partner's name was John, we were sitting at a table in a restaurant talking about how the idea of a coach would be the support and would be the thing that changed people's lives. Like, he was like, it doesn't matter who you are. Anybody can get on the internet and Google search T25 and buy it. But how many people do that and stick it in a closet and never do it? Like, the purpose of a coach was not to get rich. The purpose of a coach was to help people change their lives. And so he said, you know, I decided there were a couple of things I wanted to do to try to bring everybody's mindset back to the mission of our company, and doing these small speaking things, whatever word he used, it was one of them. Like, I wanted to personally go and see you guys face to face and talk to people who are coaches or who are thinking about being coaches or whatever it may be, and like rein it back in to what we're about. And so he just, I don't know, I just thought that was, like, I didn't really know that was the purpose of this. I kind of thought it was more of like, he's just Carl Deichler, so why not go to wherever he wants to go and talk to whoever he wants to talk to, and you know, introduce this to more people. So when he said that, I was just like, I got chills. I was just like, wow, like this man is, I mean, his company was $1 billion company in 2014. So I don't know what he is worth, like net worth, but okay, he's a multi-millionaire. And he cares about the why and the mission of his company still. And he wants us to care about the why and the mission of his company. And so, like, he talked for an hour and a half. But of all of the things he talked about, like, that stuck out the most to me, because it's just, you know, like, there aren't, I mean, I don't know if any of y'all have read the book Start With Why, but that is the premise of the book. Like, all these amazing companies in the book, I think McDonald's might have even been one of them. Like, the people that founded McDonald's had like these visions for what they wanted the company, for the restaurant to be like. And then when it started franchising and it got so big, like, their vision for it got lost. And now it's, you know, a drive-through where we can buy a 99-cent burger. And so, like, time and time again, you see, like, companies get so big that the mission just gets lost. I think in the book he talks about Apple. You know, like, Apple is, the people that love Apple, like, they're like diehard Apple people because they believe in, like, the like, making technology different. And, like, I can't regurgitate what the mission and the vision and the why of Apple is, but the point was, and no matter how big Apple has gotten, like, they still have their vision and their mission is very clear, especially to the people who work for them, and they're all very, like, diehard about it. So yeah, that was like my really big takeaway, was just like, wow, like, the CEO of the company came and that's what he wanted us to take away from that. And so it kind of started making me think again about, I don't know how many times since I've been a coach, like, I've heard, you got to know why, you got to know your vision, like, or how many times that has come out of my mouth. But, like, it's that you just do, like, that's just I don't know, that's just, like, where it all starts. And I think, you know, and I'm, like, as guilty as the next person of this, trying to get to Success Club 10, or trying to rank advance by the end of the week, or whatever it may be. Like, let me just hope that I can get this person to sign up as a coach, knowing that they might not, like they might not ever have that. And maybe they will. I'm not saying don't sign up a discount coach, because there's so many stories of discount coaches becoming top 10 coaches. But I don't know. I think it's important to, and Carl said this last night too, like, to slow down. Like, as you're working and inviting, and he was talking about how inviting is a vital behavior, and how if you are one of those people that believe in the mission of Beachbody and you truly care about helping people, then as long as you stick around and have patience, like, you will see success at this if that's in your heart to help people. But so he was talking about it, in order to do that, you do have to invite. And he said, so an invite doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be, hey, will you buy 21 Day Fix and Shakeology from me? Like, invite to your challenge groups, invite to
No.
your, what you have to offer, invite people into things that, like, you don't even have to talk about the product when you're inviting people into your community and how you can help them. And so he went on to say, and don't already have in your mind what you're going to sell to that person. Like, when you invite somebody to a challenge group and they're like, yeah, actually I do want to lose 10 pounds and I've been trying to figure out how to do that. Like, your next response shouldn't be, oh, I know exactly how you can do that. It's called on demand. We have this awesome thing called Shakeology, la 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 la. Like, slow it down and ask more questions, because maybe they don't need Shakeology because maybe they eat really well and they would be better served with the performance line because that fits into their life better. Or, maybe they don't need on demand and they just need Shakeology because they go to the gym and they don't want to change that. And I think that goes back to, like, sometimes we say, like, showing people the value in what we're trying to offer to them is ultimately what's going to help them join and sign up with you. So if you don't know enough about that person to share the things that would be beneficial to their life, like the gym example, if you invite or if you share about the on-demand option to somebody that goes to the gym 6 days a week and they love their gym family and they have no desire to leave that, their answer is going to be quick and simple, like, no, that's not for me. So, what have you tried in the past? What specific goals are you working towards? If they've tried low carb in the past, well, why do you think that didn't work for you? And, just continuously asking questions. And as you're asking questions and responding, that's when you can start to weave in little bits and pieces. Like, for example, I was talking to somebody yesterday and she said, like, I'm really interested in doing this specifically because of the meal plans that you were telling me about, but I'm breastfeeding and I'm really worried about dropping my supply. And so I immediately could respond with, like, yeah, I totally get that. Like, one thing we're going to do is make sure you take in extra calories every day. For me, I'm still breastfeeding, but when I was first trying to get my supply established, Shakeology was a huge thing for me because it boosted my supply. And then I went right on into, like, talking about exercise. Like, I just planted the seed about Shakeology by adding a little bit of value of how it has worked for me. Does that make sense? I'm like totally off my notes at this point, which is typical. But so yeah, just remembering when you are doing the vital behaviors, which is part of how you share the mission and believe in the mission and carry out the mission, to slow down and really get to know the people and figure out how we can best serve them. And so before I saw Carl last night, when I had first decided we would have a call tonight, I don't even remember what the events were, but there were like 3 different things in a period of a couple of days where the word decide kept coming up, like in a quote or I think in a group with Summer or somewhere. And then I got a box of Boost or something, and the box, Beachbody's little slogan is decide, commit, achieve, or succeed. And so I was like, I don't know, when I hear things multiple times, I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be paying attention to this. So I started thinking back to, like, my coaching career. And when I first started, like, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do this with you, Megan, because you're my sister-in-law and I don't want to tell you no. And I knew that it could probably help. So whatever. So, like, I decided that I was going to do it, but I was kind of wishy-washy. Like, I wasn't consistent. I'd do really good for a month and then something would happen. And I just never, like, decided, like, this is what I'm doing. until January. Well, really the end of December, when we knew that Nick was probably like, it was 99% sure he was going to get out of the Marine Corps. We were basically just waiting on like the paperwork. And it like became real to me that either I was going to have to go back to working 12-hour shifts 3 or 4 days a week and working weekends and holidays and probably night shift, because that's what all the ER positions are for nurses, night shift, because that's just what happens. And I was just like, physically, I was like, I cannot do that. Mentally, I was like, I don't want to do that. Emotionally, I was like, I'm not doing that, because that means I have to leave my children. And as crazy as it is, 7 years ago, I was like, never going to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm not that kind of person, blah, 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 blah. And here I am, like, all I want to do is be a stay-at-home mom. So I just decided, like, this is what I'm doing. And when I made that decision and I like wrote it down, and I still have the piece of paper of like why, going back to the beginning of why, and like what our vision was and what we wanted to do when we knew Nick was going to get out of the Marine Corps, and like what we wanted our life to look like now that we had the opportunity to like set down roots. It was so weird, but it was like we get to do this now. And so what does our vision for that look like, you know? And so when I wrote it all out, it was after I started reading Get Over Your Damn Self. And in chapter 2, she tells you to do that. And I still remember doing it. I was sitting on the back porch and I was just writing and writing and writing, and it's like 4 pages long, and I was just crying. Like, I don't know, it was crazy. And I just, like, that was it. I decided this is what it's going to be. And so when I made that decision, it was like the excuses started to just go away. You know, like, I still get nervous sometimes when I'm getting ready to invite somebody, because I'm like, oh, what's she going to think? Or like, whatever goes through your head when you're getting ready to invite somebody. But when I made that decision, I just can overcome that fear now. I can just say, like, I want to help her. If she doesn't want my help, that's okay. There's somebody else that does. But in order to get to the vision that we have, like, this is what my business is. So I don't know what your guys' vision is. Like, I know some coaches on our team are coaches because they freaking love being coaches, and the financial side of it is not the driving factor. Some of us is both. Like, as a nurse, I have a true desire to help people. And so this opportunity has allowed me to, like, in a much better way than sticking people with an IV and, you know, making kids cry and whatnot, like, help people and financially help things for our family. Whereas some people, you know, like, whatever your vision is, it doesn't matter. But I found this quote, and it says, ask yourself what is really important, and then have the wisdom and the courage to build your life around that answer. So my challenge to y'all is to, if you don't already know your vision, like, if you've never, like, really and truly sat down and just put pen to paper and just let your hand write. Like, don't think. Don't let yourself talk yourself out of some crazy whatever it is. Just write. And that what comes out will be what's important to you. And then just decide, like, is Beachbody, is coaching, is helping people change their lives, like, the way that you want to facilitate getting to that vision. And if it's not, like, that's okay. So Carl said last night, this is not for everybody, and we're totally okay with that. But for the people that it is for, the reward and the joy that you get out of it are, like, there's no comparison. So, like I said, after you write that down, like, just allow yourself to have the courage to make the decision, like, to go for this or not. And I don't mean like for some people who's necessarily like their vision for coaching is not financial. Like when you write down things that are important to you, if reaching out and helping people every month like change their lives and feel the way you felt, then like decide that that's what you're going to do. Like decide that there's no excuse that's going to hold you back from that. And just be willing to kind of work through the fears that hold us back, the limiting beliefs, I guess, that hold us back. So going along with the little Beachbody slogan, like after you've made that decision, it's really easy to commit. Because when you've written down your vision and you know what it is that's important and you've decided like this is what I'm going to do, then the next step is natural. You commit to the fact that if your goal is $250 a month, and I'm using that on purpose because I'm going to tell you about something else in a minute, but then you're going to commit to the activities that are going to get you to $250 a month. Success Club 10 basically will get you to $250 a month. Building a team and having some cycle bonuses will help with that. But the point is you commit to the fact that whatever it is that you've decided on, whatever your vision is, however you've decided the things that are important to you, like those things don't come without work. And so you commit to the fact that we're going to put in the work and we're going to help people and they're going to change their lives. And by doing that, by helping people reach their goals, we're going to reach our own. Like, I can't tell you how many times I heard that. And then when I heard it this one particular time and it clicked, I was like, Jesus, like it's so true. When you help people reach their goals, like naturally things happen for yourself. Not because like that doesn't need to be your purpose. Like, oh, if she loses her 10 pounds then she's going to be a coach and I'm going to get benefit out of that. Like, no, like that's not the mindset. When you help people change their lives, like they feel like we feel. And it's I don't know how to put into words what I'm trying to say. It's natural. Which I guess is a good segue into the second part or the third part. Once you've decided, once you've committed to the things that are going to get you there, then it's natural that you succeed. And success like doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I've been a coach. The end of May was my 3-year anniversary. And I was kind of reflecting on this as I was driving home today. Like the first 2 years, I worked hard in spurts. I didn't do anything consistently. You know, like I would have 3 really great months and I'd be like, oh, snap, I'll just sit back. But since January, like I have showed up consistently every single day and until the past 3 days. And like it takes time, but I can see how it grows and it compounds. It's just like the book The Compound Effect. Like it's true when you show up and it's consistent and you've made that decision and you've committed to it, like it's natural that you succeed. Gary Vee's popping into my head because on the success isn't overnight thing, like it takes patience. Like I don't know how many times I've heard Gary Vee say like the problem with entrepreneurs these days, the problem with people that go into business, no matter what your business is that they don't have enough patience to get to the end and to see the success. Like we give up after 6 months or we give up after a year. Or in my case, if I had given up in December when I was like, the beginning of December when I was like, maybe I'm not good enough to do this. Like, maybe I'm not good enough to be a leader, or maybe I'm not whatever to really, truly motivate and inspire and help people change their lives. Like, I had all this doubt. And then I remembered and I listened to Gary Vee and he's like, patience. Like, you have to stick it out when you feel like that. When you feel like you're a freaking big A failure, you work through it. And that builds your, you get thick skin after that. And then you're just like, I'm going to be here in 5 years regardless. And There's going to be mountains and valleys along the way, but it's going to be amazing at the end. And I'm just now looking at Lauren's phone, and I see people in the background that I don't know. Hopefully I'm motivating the OR. I just got totally sidetracked. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel. Okay, so now that we have talked about deciding, committing, succeeding, and I mentioned the $250 thing. I don't know if y'all know Sarah Cronin. It's either Sarah Cronin Powell or Sarah Powell Cronin. I can't remember. She is a coach in Breen's downline. I can't remember exactly who's who. But she messaged me just today and asked about a group. She called it the June $250 Club. And it's basically like 14 days of coach basics merged with vital behaviors, merged with some emerald training, like basically just a lot of really great content for things that will move our businesses forward. And the end goal is that we all finish the month at SC10, which is $250 in your pocket. And so I would love for everybody to join. I think it would be really cool if we showed up in that group with Ignite and Shine, like, hey, look at us, we're here. And, you know, when you say Success Club 10, like, that's 5 people, y'all. That's 5 people that we can get set up and get started and work with, you know, in our July group or whatever. And go back to the mission and the vision and the why of Beachbody and change their lives. I just think, I don't know, after listening to Carl last night, like, I've never felt more on fire for, like, that's what we get to do every single day. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes people whine and they complain about they can't eat this, or they're picky and they don't want that, or they can't push play, or whatever it is. But, like, that's what we get to do. We get to be that motivation for them and help them through the struggles that we had, because I know I was there when I was a new challenger. Like, I'd so much rather not push play today, or what, you know. So yeah, that starts Monday. She just messaged me about it today, but I'm going to post about it in Ignite and Shine, and we can, you know, I'll get it all worked out and we'll get everybody added into that group. But I hope everybody on the call will join me in that, and hopefully more from the team will as well. Just checking my notes. Oh, the flyer that I originally made for the team call said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I found that quote right after everything with Kira's husband, and I just, you know, we were in the message thread. I don't want to say too much about that, because if Kira watches this, I don't want to give away anything, but I just felt the energy and the love and just our team, like, just coming together. And I think when Megan and I, you know, first had this vision for Ignite and Shine, like, a lot of it was about community and together, and women lifting each other up and empowering each other and being there for each other. And I just, like, this team means everything to me. I think in December, when I was really struggling with, like, do I keep going or do I not? My decision might have been different if it hadn't been for Ignite and Shine, because I just would go and look at the page, and, like, it was not very active then, and, you know, things were quiet and whatnot, but I still just looked at everybody's names and faces and was like, you know, I wouldn't know half these people if not for this opportunity. And when we are together and trying and working and having fun, like, I just believe that we're unstoppable. And I think that quote is true. If you want to go far, go together. That's all I have. Does anybody have any questions or anything you want to say before we go? Okay. I really, really, really appreciate y'all jumping on. I don't know if everybody got to see the live video that I made, but I think based on the poll, we'll just keep the team calls to once a month for right now. We'll just do like right at the beginning of the month every time, and then I'm going to try to go live like mid-month with who knows what. So yeah, that's it. Y'all have a really good night, and thank you again for coming.